So in the fall of 1999, the Bethany Deacon Board, as part of the board, realized it was time, through Pastor Steve DeCook's leadership, to birth a church.
It appeared to me that there was a great vacuum of spirituality north of 20 Mile, Hull Road, this road right here.
Our vision first started in the people who lived north of M59. They loved to come. That was not a problem to them, but it was a problem getting their neighbors to come and keep coming.
One of the best associate pastors that I've ever had is Bob Harvey. And when we were looking for the first pastor of Heritage, it seemed to only make sense that Bob Harvey would be the man.
And so he turned it over to me, kind of gave me a manual from our kind of churches and said, here you go, God's blessings on you. Keep me posted on what's happening. Most of our leaders and our workers were part of my youth group as kids. One of those is Debbie Zentz.
Pastor Bob gave us a call one day and said, hey, what would you think about starting a church out in the northern Macomb Township area? Would you want to be a part of it? We thought, why not? This is a great thing. We wanted to have a place close to our home that we could invite our friends and family to.
We asked Pastor Bob if he would lead a Sunday school class in the basement at Bethany on Sunday morning. Up to 20 couples were there in this class, and Bob focused on sacrifice, focused on putting others first. It cost Bethany an enormous amount to launch us in people, resources, 40 of some of the best volunteers Bethany had, Pastor Bob Harvey. They paid his salary, financial resources. They had to be sacrificial for us to launch successfully.
And that was a struggle, I think, at times for some of the people. And it was a real sacrifice for Bethany, because when the front line left, all of a sudden now we're team rebuilding. And that takes a long, long time.
I look back and admire so much and appreciate so much people who are willing to say, you know what, it's going to hurt us here, financially, volunteer-wise, so many ways. And yet the Lord is leading in this, and so we're going to support this too.
We met actually in Lutheran High North's library, and we'd get there early and move the tables and chairs, set everything up. It was a labor of love.
Welcome everyone. We are glad that you've all joined us this evening for our first service together. We are excited, a little bit nervous, a whole bunch nervous, really nervous. No, we're not that.
It wasn't long before we outgrew the library, because so many were coming and adding to us, that we asked the school if we could use their music room.
We had an old-fashioned big grand piano, and sometimes we even had trumpets. It was fun. We started growing in that room, and then before we knew it, we had outgrown that room and we're moving into the next size up gym. People were coming, we were setting up pipe and drape, and before we knew it, we had outgrown every single room in Lutheran High North, and we needed to move out and find a larger space.
As we continued to grow, we realized we needed a kids pastor. It was time. As I wrote the job description, I kept thinking, this is what I would like to do, Lord. And so I went to the elders when I handed them the job description and said, would you mind if I applied for this position and looked for a new lead pastor?
So we started searching for a lead pastor, and after looking through many, Jeff and Bonnie's resume appeared, and we knew they were the right people, mostly because of Bonnie, but we knew Pastor Jeff was perfect for the role here.
When we met Dave and when we met Bob and met Debbie and all these teams, we were like, hey, we want to be a part of this team.
You're looking at me and you realize I'm not Bob. You're right. Very perceptive. I'm Jeff Forster, and I'm the new guy here. I'm one of the pastors, and I'll be bringing the message this morning.
You know, there were 200 and something people meeting in the gym, and then the church began to grow. We started seeing a lot of new believers, and by the time we were ready to leave, we were doing 2 services. The school wouldn't let us go to a 3rd service, and we had pretty much maxed out the space. Finally, we came across this building, and it had been AMC movie theater and had been closed for about 10 years. So throughout the history of Heritage Church, the decisions we have made have been specifically to reach one more person for Jesus. And so as we were growing, God kept building the team.
Coming over to Heritage has been one of the best things for my family and for my career and for my ministry experience. This church is unbelievable. The culture is fantastic. And the thing that I love most is that we are passionate about reaching those who are far from God. I think of the small group of people at Bethany Church over 2 decades ago, getting together and sacrificing time and money and resources and people and saying, I wonder what's going to come of this, but we believe in reaching people for Jesus, and we could not be more grateful for them.
I genuinely believe that we are standing on the shoulders of great people, Steve DeCook and the board at Bethany, that had the courage to do whatever it took to launch Heritage Church.
Look what God has done here. Look how God has worked in people's lives. He has done things in people's lives that is way beyond anything we ever imagined. Is it worth it? There's never even a question on that. Of course it's worth it.
If you're brand new at Heritage, we're thankful for the past, but we are excited about the future because we believe with everything happening and the momentum and the blessings that God has given us, that the best is yet to come.